Hello participants. Now let us discuss the next property. So this property we will discuss in next class. So right now we are going to discuss this property. So what is this property saying is L of f of t upon t is equal to integration s to infinity. Note that limits varies from s to infinity phi of s ds. Now the question is when we can use this property. So if some function is given to us and if we are sure that we can find its integration, then we can think of this property. But finding integration is not enough. What it is saying is useful in finding f of t when phi of s is given, okay, and provided the inverse transform of this integration exists. Means whatever phi of s is given to us, its integration should exist as well as the inverse Laplace transform of that should also exist. Ultimately, when you integrate it, over here you are going to get a function of s again, and you have to find the inverse Laplace transform of this as well. Why inverse Laplace transform? I will tell you that. So after integration, you will get some function of s. Let us call it as psi of s. Now what we will do, we will apply L inverse from both sides. So if you apply L inverse from both sides, I will have f of t upon t will be equal to L inverse of psi of s. So therefore it is said, provided inverse transform of this integration exists. So inverse transform of this psi of x, if it exists, then we will get a function of t. Let us call it as some g of t. And we got the required thing then, because what will be our value of f of t then? Our value of f of t will be what? T into g of t. And we have successfully found out the inverse Laplace transform of phi of s, because this f of t is nothing but what? Just take a note that this f of t is nothing but, maybe I will write it here. Yes, L inverse of phi of s, as you can see here as well. So this is how we proceed. So whatever function is given to us, uh, we will see whether its integration exists or not, and if its integration exists, we will see whether we are able to find its inverse Laplace transform or not. And if we are able to do it, then uh, this is how we proceed. So whatever integration we get, we'll call it as psi of s, then we'll apply L inverse from both sides, then we'll get this, and ultimately our value of f of t will be t multiplied by g of t, and f of t is nothing but L inverse of phi of s. Let us try to understand this through an example. So over here in this example, I feel that integration of this phi of s will exist, and definitely it will exist, because if you see, I am having s square plus a square over here, and if you put s square plus a square is equal to some other variable, let us say x. So if I put s square plus a square is equal to x, then my 2s ds will be equal to what? Dx. Okay, then after this substitution I will able to solve this integration. Let me show you how. So I will say, let phi of s is equal to s upon s square plus a square whole square. So by property, what we will have, Laplace transform of f of t upon t will be equal to integration s to infinity phi of s ds. Take a note that our L inverse of f of t, sorry, phi of s. So now this will be equal to integration s to infinity s upon s square plus a square whole square ds. Also take a note that our other formulas will fail here. We cannot use other formulas, because we are having standard formula for what? S upon s square plus a square. We don't have a standard formula for s upon s square plus a square whole square. Therefore it is essential for us to go by this method only. Yeah, so this is equal to, so I will put s square plus a square is equal to x. So I will say put s square plus a square is equal to x. So after differentiating, therefore 2s ds will be equal to what? Dx, and my limits of integration will vary from what? So what will be my new limits of x? So s varies from s to infinity. So value of s is s initially. So my value of x will be s square plus a square, and if my value of s is infinity, then value of x will be infinity. So x will vary from s square plus a square to infinity. Now what will be my s ds? My s ds will be dx upon 2. So therefore this will be equal to, bringing that half out, integration s square plus a square to infinity, and s ds will be dx. So dx upon this will be x square. Okay, so what is the integration of this? This will be equal to half integration of 1 upon x square is x raised to minus 2 plus 1 upon minus 2 plus 1. Limits will vary from s square plus a square to infinity. This will be equal to half. So uh, it will be x inverse upon minus 1 s square plus a square to infinity. This will be equal to half. Take that minus out. It will be 1 upon x. Limits will vary from s square to a square to infinity, and this will be equal to, if I put the upper limit as infinity, 1 upon infinity tends to 0, right? So 0, this will be minus 1 upon s square plus a square, and if you put that minus half inside, it will be 1 upon 2 s square plus a square. So this is nothing but L of f of t upon. So now apply L inverse from both sides. Therefore f of t upon t, since that half was a constant, it has been taken out, and therefore our f of t will be equal to t upon 2. And what is L inverse of 1 upon s square plus a square? It is 1 upon a sine at. So therefore this is equal to t upon, you can say 1 upon 2a t sine of at, and I think that is what we wanted to prove. You can see, therefore inverse Laplace transform of this s upon s square plus a square whole square is 1 upon 2a e sine of at. Now see, these are just the calculations part, so you can see this calculation part properly, and therefore at last, yeah. Now coming towards this example, you can see that what is the change in last example and this example. So last example was talking about s upon s square plus a square whole square, and this example is talking about s square upon s square plus a square whole square. So can you feel which property we should use? Multiplication by s, right? So this I'll leave it to you. This can be easily done. What is our f of t? This is our f of t actually, and you can notice that f of 0 is also equal to 0. So by multiplication by s, what you will have here, by using multiplication by s, this L inverse of s square upon s square plus a square whole square will be equal to what? D by dt of f of t, where what is f of t? Where f of t is L inverse of s upon s square plus a square whole square. Okay, and also this f of 0 is equal to 0, so no need of worrying. So we can use multiplication by s property. Why f of 0 is equal to 0? Because if we put t is equal to 0, we'll get this f of 0 to be 0, because sine 0 is also 0. In fact, this t is present, so due to this t, everything will be 0, and you can do rest of the things. Okay, so this is d by dt of, and put the value of f of t and get the answer. So this can be easily done by you. Now coming towards this example, now again see what is the difference between this example. that is s upon s square plus a square whole square. And this example, you can see that if we use division by s, then we will be able to prove it, right? So let us use division by s then. So not that, but in order to use division by s in the denominator, you should have s, right? Over here there is no s, so what to do then? So we will adjust that s, right? So note that how to adjust it, just multiply by s and divide by s. So L inverse of s upon s, s square plus a square whole square. Okay, I should say like this. This will be equal to L inverse of 1 upon s, s square plus a square whole square, just divided by s and multiplied by s. So this will be equal to integration 0 to t L inverse of what? S upon x square plus a square whole square. Now you can see that this s has been vanished because we have used division by s, by using division by s. Yes, and we already know what is inverse Laplace transform of this. So this is equal to integration 0 to t. I think what it is, it is 1 upon 2a t sine of at and dt. So you integrate it and you will get your answer. So this I leave it to you. Now I would like to talk about this example, because uh, whatever three formulas we have learned, I suggest you that you by heart these three formulas, because you will come across such type of functions many times and you should know the inverse Laplace transform of this function directly. So let me give one application of these formulas. So now in order to find inverse Laplace transform of this function, you do not have any standard formula. See what we will do here, we will try to complete a square in the denominator. So this will be equal to s plus 2 whole square upon, now let us try to complete a square in the denominator. So I'll say s, since it is plus over here, so I will have a plus sign. Now just see the coefficient of s, it is 4, so divide it by 2, I will get 2 over here, square of this plus this 8 as it is, and you should subtract this 2 square, right? That is 4, so minus 4 and it is whole square. So this will be further equal to s plus 2 whole square upon this will be s plus 2 square, and 8 minus 4 is 4, so plus 4 n square, right? Now what will be L inverse of this? Will be equal to, now you can see that we can use the shifting property. So by shifting property, this will be e raised to minus 2t L inverse of what? S square upon s square, and this 4 can be written as 2 square whole square. Now the thing is, do I know the inverse Laplace transform of this function? And the answer is yes, because just now we have studied that property, which is that this one, right? What is the property saying? L inverse of, let me just copy it so that you will understand. Yeah, so this is the property. Just we are supposed to put a is equal to 2 in this, so this will be equal to e raised to minus 2t, and if you put a is equal to 2, I'll get 1 upon 4 inside the bracket sine 2t plus 2t cos 2t. Okay, and this is the inverse Laplace transform of the given function. It was easy, right? So this is the beauty of these three formulas. So I suggest you that you by heart these three formulas. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you.